Abzan, Abzan Bugler. This deck is basically Militia Bugler here for people that are not familiar with this card. It's a 2/3 for 3. Then when it comes into play, you have to look at the top 4 cards of your deck and grab a creature with 2 power or less from among them. So this deck's just looking to play a bunch of constructed playable cards to pair in with Militia Bugler. Constructed playable might be a little bit of a stretch on some of these, but we'll see how it goes. The core of this deck is white black, so while there are green cards in this deck with Tristani and Knight of Autumn, the base of this deck is black white, so this will be one of the many color combinations that's going to get a bit better when the new set drops and we get all 10 Shocklands in standard. So without further ado, let's dive into some events here and see how this feels. Oh, Martyr over Adanto Vanguard. That's true, actually. Is that something I want to do? Yeah, actually, I like that change. I'm gonna make that swap before we dive in. Just get like the max amount of constructed playables in here. Adanto Vanguard's very good. Adanto Vanguard is easily one of the best, probably the best white 2-drop in the format, right? And like Bugler picks that one up. That's a good catch. And unfortunately, we cannot make changes to decks in between matches when we play in the constructed events. And we don't have a best of 3 ladder currently. Hopefully that comes back not too long into the new year. I don't know, I think Twilight Prophet's like a must answer threat that's also evasive. Like, it generates card advantage very quickly. We're gonna like queue into mono red here to start. Oh, big red. Okay, this is a little bit better against big red then. I think I want to play Freebooter on 2 here because I don't want to get this Chain Warlord next turn. The Legion War Boss is a little annoying. So here's the thing, Clips. I don't care what a deck's match record is, and if you care about playing good decks and like tuning decks, you shouldn't care what a deck's match record is either at the end of the day. How many wins a deck got in playing a couple matches here on Magic Arena doesn't tell you whether or not a deck is good, bad, or otherwise. When I'm playing decks on Magic Arena, I'm looking to learn something about how the decks work together. And like, it doesn't matter if a deck went 4-0 or 0-4, that doesn't tell me what the power level of the deck is, especially if I'm making changes and trying to improve it as we iterate. The removal spell there is pretty rough for us. So this isn't going to flip for 2 more turns at the very least. So I think I want to Chupacabra this turn rather than Knight of Autumn to destroy this. Like my goal when I play matches on stream isn't to like earn gold on Arena, right? Like my goal is to play fun, interesting games of Magic and learn and improve the decks while I'm playing them. How do you tell if a deck is good then? I mean, eventually, like, it depends on what do you mean by good? So like, are you talking about, you asking like, is a deck good for tournament play? That's one way you could measure is if it's good. Is it good in certain matchups? There's a lot of metrics on which you can measure a deck being good, bad, or otherwise. And like, if you're practicing for a tournament, for instance, playing random matches on Magic Arena or Magic Online or even at FNM or whatever aren't good ways to test a deck for a tournament. If you want to test a deck for especially a format that has decks that you expect to play against, you want to test against the specific matchups that you expect to play against in a given tournament. Not just like play random matches of Magic against decks that you may or may not care about. If you're playing for best of 3, you should do it all at once, Steve ate my cat. In Magic, the sideboard is very much a part of the rest of your deck. When you're building a good deck in Magic, like best of 1, honestly, it's a different format. Like in Magic, best of 3, you shouldn't think about your sideboard and your main deck as separate entities. Your sideboard and your main deck go hand in hand and should be a cohesive part of the unit that you're building. Yeah, on average, the number of viewers I have while playing Standard on Magic Arena is 50 to 100% more than playing Modern and other formats on Magic Online. That is just a 2-1 with First Strike, which is actually kind of annoying, right? Because it, like, blocks both of these. No, I don't want to play the land that they know about, Mulv, because this land comes into play untapped. Whereas my Shock land comes into play tapped. So, like, you're right, I could potentially conceal information by playing the land that they know about, but I also cost myself something later by, like, having a land that comes into play tapped versus untapped. So, again, I'm playing a land that they don't know about because I want to get this land into play tapped. So, you're going to flip Treasure Map next turn. Yeah, right, Kaysen? I also think, like, the quality, in my personal preference, this is super subjective. My personal preference is that I prefer the gameplay that Standard generates right now to the gameplay that Modern generates. But again, that's a super subjective metric. Turtle Man, thanks for the brand new tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that generosity. Remember, my tier 3 subs, they support me so much extra. They get to submit a new deck to my queue every single month when they renew. So feel free to submit a new deck using the queue there, the Google form. Or if there's a deck that's already in the queue that you'd like to bump up, I'd be happy to do that for you as well. What I mean is, at the end of the day, maybe we don't care about which land comes in first or last since we are in top deck mode. I don't know. I think it is relevant playing my lands that would potentially deal me damage first. That's definitely something that matters. At the end of the day, I think you're right that it's pretty marginal, but getting my lands into play that are tapped when I don't have something to do with them is important. Woof. That is not the droid we were looking for necessarily. How aggressive do I want to be here? Like, we're getting into range of just being burned out by a Banefire. Yeah, we really wanted to hit, like, a Tristani or a Chupacabra there. I think I'm okay just trading this at this point. Yeah, or, like, we could have gone, like, Bugler into another Bugler into something cheap. Do I want to go to 8? I don't think so. I think I'm just trading these off. Flooding out a little bit here. Just how it goes. One of the things I wonder looking at this deck list, like thinking about Abzan Bugler, I wonder if the core black-white is the right core. Because I feel like there's probably some appeal to like playing Militia Bugler inside the Wild Growth Walker shell. Because the Wild Growth Walker plus like Jade Light Rangers and stuff like that is a very powerful engine, right? So having access to that more consistently seems potentially appealing. Hey, Reprint to Ball, thank you very much for the 17-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, like, imagine if this was a best of 1 game, right? Like, I've had just infinite lands in this number of cards that we've had. So we have what? We have 8, 10. We've had 10 lands in, so 50% land draws this game. But this is best of 3, so if we lose this game because we flooded out a little bit, we're going to get to play another game after to potentially balance out that variance. One of the best ways to reduce variance in Magic, which has an incredible amount of variance by design, is by playing best of 3. Woof. Yep. All right. Okay, well, we're at 6, but we're really at like a virtual 2 because these goblins threaten to deal damage to us. And I'm just going to offer this trade here. Obviously, because we're dead otherwise. And I'm not attacking with these because this says first strike. Oh, yeah, I guess I shouldn't have attacked with that, right? Because they should have blocked with their first strike guy. Yeah, that's true. This is probably... We're actually just dead, right? I'm just dead to the CGN commander. I made a bad play and then they didn't punish us for it. God bless. All right, so... Probably an Ixalan's Binding Out matchup. Golden Demise and Cast Down both seem kind of good. Izoni's a little expensive. I think Poison Tip Archer seems fine, just like a 2-3. The 2-3 stats are fine. Adanto Vanguard seems exceptionally bad here, right? Have a good one, Trouble. For the ones asking, is this a jank deck? So, if you're new to the stream, a lot of the decks, pretty much all of the decks that we play on the stream are viewer submitted deck lists. So somebody sent in this deck list asking if I would play what they sent in, and that's what we're doing. So we play decks that viewers send in, and we give some feedback on, talk about cards we like, cards we didn't like, etc. Mana base is a little painful here, but the spells are good, so we'll keep this. I think the card sort UI, am I the only one who wants? I actually don't mind the arena sideboarding UI. My only complaint with the arena sideboarding UI is that I would greatly prefer if I could... I would greatly prefer if I could drag the panels back and forth to make the sideboard cards smaller and the main deck cards bigger. So they don't have anything else I can take out of their hand here, right? So I'm just gonna take the Seekers Squire. One of the downsides, and this is, so like, there's two reasons why Militia Bugler doesn't really see play in Standard. And the reason is that the context of the other white cards that tend to see play in the decks that are good. So, for example, Militia Bugler doesn't fit well with the cards, Militia Bugler does not work well with History of Benalia, and it does not work well with Tocatli Honor Guard. And like, those are two of the best white cards that you can be playing in Standard. I think not having access to those things is a big deal. Woof. And I mentioned one of the things beforehand, talking about building this deck in the direction of playing the Explorer creature, the Wild Growth Walker package. Like, that's one of the things that, like, we don't really have a good way to go over the top of, like, this 3-3, right? Like, this 3-3 just, like, stonewalls us. There's a deck list on your screen via the Stream Decker widget. Alternatively, you can also type ! deck in chat to get a direct link to the deck list, so you can kind of find out what we're playing and why. Yeah, the rate of play on Arena is just A+. You just play games so quickly. Yeah, I think there's a degree of that for sure. The individual power level of cards in this deck tends to be a little bit weak. Let's make a 4/3. Is there a Fiend Hunter card in Standard? I don't think so, right? I mean, Legion War Boss alongside Siege Gang Commander is good in most matchups, right? So I think that's fine to leave in. Getting kind of punished for playing out my card aggressively here. Yep. Might just be a tough first match. Sometimes you get got by resource variance twice in a row. Which is kind of how it goes. But at least this was the same match, right? And not happening in 2 different games. So they're throwing away Captain Lannery so that way they can play. Siege Gang Commander next turn, so they can generate a treasure here, I'd assume. They could also crack the treasure to make this a 3/2, so that way this get these trade. And this is why I rearranged my blocks there to put the Seekers Squire here, because this one doesn't have Vigilance, so I'd rather it die. Let's just move along with our lives, shall we? This is definitely the best standard format I've ever played. Probably just the best generic Magic format, honestly. It's very good. There's just so much going on in this format. There's like combo decks that are competitive but not obnoxious. There's good mid-range, aggro, and control decks. Lots to like from a varied standpoint. Oh, Magic. Yeah, but there's good tempo decks too, which is rare. Tempo is an archetype that doesn't always exist, so it's sweet to have a good one. Yeah, a 1/2 is definitely a lot worse than a 2/1 when you pick a land up. I think blue Devotion was a pretty much just an aggro deck. This curve's just so good. I think there's a good chance we just get buried in card quality by the green-black deck here. Perfect, Turtle Man. Yeah, Green Black Elves is a lot of fun. And thanks for the support, I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, we were talking about one of the reasons why Bugler doesn't see a ton of play. Like, the fact that we can't play Bugler alongside Tecatli on our guard is a big deal. Hey, Turtle Man, for Green-Black Elves, do you mind if I try some of the ideas from the Grand Prix list? There was an Elves list from the recent Grand Prix that tried a couple of Beast Whisperers at the top end that I might want to give a try to next time. I was thinking next time I played it. Tristani's pretty good here. This is our first time casting this card so far today. Perfect. Sounds great. So if they have a removal spell here, we could be a little bit medium, but if they don't, we're in a really good spot. They do have this Memorial to Folly here, so like if they trade this off, they could Folly this back and then make the Wild Growth Walker bigger, but I have another Chupacabra to kill this, so I think that's fine. No, pretty much all my Magic Arena is spent playing on stream, and when I'm playing on stream, I have lots of viewer decks to play through that are all standard. So probably see the Folly pick the Jade Light back up at end of turn here. Maybe that attack's bad because of this sequence. Do I still play Paper Magic? Yeah, occasionally. The energy events that are scrolling on my advertiser banner there, they're a Midwest tournament series, so I'm actually planning to play in some of their tournaments. All right, so Tristani's dead next turn. Got it. Yeah, Fine Finality's a card that's just gonna bury us. Hey, what's going on, Marty? Thanks for the tip, I appreciate it. But what if Memekin, 10 out of 10, happy to add Memekin back to the queue. Traveling for Paper Magic's just incredibly expensive, so like the energy stuff being localish to me in the Midwest is great. It's in the queue already, sounds good. I will have you know that at the one NRG event I played this year, my Elves deck dumpstered Matt Hoey's Bant Spirits in 2 very not close games. Just ran him over. Elves has a good Spirit matchup. It's one of the reasons to play it. All right, depending on how good their last one is here, this Twilight Prophet could run away with the game. It's gonna let us start drawing 2 cards a turn. It's like a Dark Confidant where they lose life for the card that we draw, which is sweet. Start by attacking with this. They might just throw away their elf to deal 4 to us here, but I think that's fine. Yeah, I agree. Elves linear is harder than the other decks. Yeah, if they don't have a lot of interaction, they usually end up in a bad spot. Oh, they have a copy of Fine Finality here, don't they? Maybe I'm just supposed to Conclave Tribunal the Chupacabra so that way they can't find it back. 'Cause like if they have a find, they pick this up. Oh, they don't. Well, that's good for me. All right, well, we're ahead at the moment. I think I just play the Naked Freebooter out here. Just like get my 1/2 in the air to start beating down. I'm gonna stand back up for a little bit. Our deck with really high card quality is drawing a bunch of Land War Elves here, so that's good for us. Knight of Autumn's a good pickup. Just gonna go ahead and keep smashing in. Is it worth it to cash in the lifelink tokens because of top deck finality? Maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna make a 4-3 here. We might be heading in the direction of just like swinging with everything, honestly. And I'm holding this Conclave Tribunal because if my opponent does top deck finality, I want to be able to Conclave Tribunal the creature they keep afterwards. Yeah, that's a tough one because like now they kill my Twilight Prophet. I don't really have anything going on. Looking to draw like another Tristani here, or a Bugler into another Prophet, etc. Land, less good. I could trade this for a Seekers Squire. I don't think I'm okay with that. I'm just gonna poke them for one for now. And again, like, from board states like this, I think my opponent's deck tends to be heavily favored because their deck has higher average card quality than ours does in it. So far, they keep drawing all their mediocre ones. That's good for us. Ding, ding, ding. All right. Today is the day where we try and put a 20-turn Kitesail Freebooter clocks on people and see how it turns out in all form. Basically, Burgle, basically. What's going on, Nullit? Thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome, welcome. Nah, I don't think I want to trade with the Vanguard. Find Finality puts us to parity because, like, they'll have one threat left over and then I'll Conclave Tribunal it. Null set, got it. Thank you for the small correction. So I like pretty dead next turn, right? I'm gonna like Conclave Tribunal a blocker and then smash their face. I'm not sure if this is lethal, but like I'm not the one who's blocking, so it's not my job to figure that out. I couldn't kill Squire. I had a 2-3. I'm gonna hold on to this Bugler for now in case they rip the Finality. That's why I minimized the game board to see what was the double block, what was being double blocked. All right, so green black a Tony. You're looking a little naked there without your sword to go with your shield. I think the Immortal Sun seems good. Citywide Bust is probably really good in this matchup. I think Poison Tip Archer is probably good in this matchup too. I think I want to trim all of my enchantment removal so that way my opponent can't blow it up with Planeswalkers and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not sure why they topped the Druid. Kitesail Freebooter seems a little mediocre. This seems fine. How many creatures do I have in my deck? I have 30 creatures, and all of them get hit off of Bugler, except for this. So I have 28 hits off of Bugler. So 28 is probably a fine number of hits. The problem with binding on Vivian Reed is that they have multiple Planeswalkers that can destroy things. It becomes less good. I'm bringing in the Sun because it generates card advantage in a mid-range matchup that's about card advantage, and it turns off their Planeswalkers. So it provides card advantage for us while turning off some of their card advantage. I think Adanto is fine. Adanto, they do have blockers for it, but like turning my health total into removal spells for their creatures, I think is reasonable. I also need to, like, keep a critical mass of creature. Like, I think Adanto is better than Kitesail Freebooter on average. Some lists play Druid of the Cowl. Druid of the Cowl is usually an indicator that the opponent's green-black deck is going bigger with more 6+ mana spells. More Vivians, more 6 mana Fraskas, stuff like that. Probably want to play Kitesail Freebooter on here on 2. Give us kind of the lay of the land to figure out how we want to sequence the rest of my cards out. So, like, if they have a Karn for next turn, this can take Karn away. Or it can swing and miss. You know, that'll work too. They get to go Walker plus Explore creature here, which is pretty good for them. Stay right there. Worth noting that Citywide Bust is not quite a combo with these Dorkos. Yeah, 3 to 4 is about the norm, or I think somewhere between 3 and 5 is probably the norm for Planeswalkers. Druid of the Cowl tends to indicate that they have more top end, though, because they play additional acceleration past the land where elves are doing this usually. The Beeve, hope you had a great Christmas. Thank you very much for the 2-month resub and for at the tier 3 level. It's very generous. Remember that you get to submit a deck every month with your tier 3 sub, so be sure to put that in through the form on my website. I appreciate that absurd level of support. I wonder if they'll... Wow, they kept the Explore creature. Keeping the Explore creature seems a little bit medium since I have this Ravenous Chupacabra in my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and trade here. Is it silly to 1-for-1 this Citywide Bust? Because I think I want to just do this now because, like, if I'm holding this, I can't play these out yet. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Just like trade this 1-for-1 here. And I'm gonna go ahead and not attack with this because I'd like to not get hit for 1 by this. Like, saving 1 point of health on my side is worth more than, like, them taking 1. Especially when they're at 25. And like, next turn, I'll play Tristani, and hopefully they'll Ravenous Chupacabra Tristani. And then I'll play Twilight Prophet as a follow-up to hopefully start generating card advantage. I'm kind of surprised they left this Explore creature on top of their deck, honestly, considering the fact that they knew we had Ravenous Chupacabra coming. What headphones are these? These are a $30 USB headset off of Amazon that had okay reviews. Missing 1 Jade Light and 1 Deep Root Elite. Would you do some other fish or dive downs and cast downs? I'd probably put other Merfolk in. You just want the threats in that deck. Wow, I am really surprised they keep keeping these mediocre cards on top of their deck. Maybe they don't have a lot of top end. It feels weird to me to keep cards like that if they have top end to dig to. So this is 9 permanents in play right now. So they're going to Chupacabra this, putting me down to 8 permanents. And then I think I'm going to not trade any of my creatures off in combat this turn, because that way, if I draw... This way, if I draw land next turn, I can go Twilight Prophet plus gain the City's Blessing. That's unfortunate. All right, I guess I just play the 3-4 here, right? What's the best angel list I played? The green white angel list I played the other day felt really good. I like that list a lot. So, anything I trade or eat here. There's no reason. Someone else asked me about doing a bronze to mythic push. I don't have any desire. One, I think best of one magic sucks. It's very frustrating and annoying and not something that I enjoy playing. And two, you don't get anything meaningful for playing on the ladder. So people who are really competitive probably aren't even really playing on the ladder, right? Because like you don't get anything out of it. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure like what the appeal is there, other than just like bragging rights. I don't really have an interest in bragging rights. And like my deck queue's pretty constantly full, so I don't think it's worthwhile for me to like take time off of playing decks from my deck queue to play something like that. All right, so they hit a Memorial to Folly. Play Twilight Prophet at the City of Blessings. They should do invites to the PT for the ladder. Yeah, maybe. Something like that would be sweet. Give me a reason to do it. You imagine if they gave like the top 100 players in the ladder PT invites or something? Again, I play Magic to have fun, and I don't have fun playing best of one Magic, so it's not something I'm going to be doing. If you have fun playing best of one Magic, you can and should enjoy it, but I personally don't get enjoyment out of that. Never let anybody tell you that you're playing Magic in the wrong way. If you're having, the only time you're ever playing Magic wrong is if you're playing and not having fun. Or if you're cheating. Well, on Arena, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. God bless. I think I just Chupacabra their Wild Growth Walker here. Or do I want to activate Shalai? No, I think I just want to put blockers into play here. And then do I want to put Adanto out or cast? I think I just want to hold cast down up here. I'm going to go ahead and attack with Shalai because they're going to Chupacabra Shalai next turn anyways. And I'm not dead on board, right? Because this gains me 1, and I have a cast down 2. Well, the cast down doesn't impact on a board, but like if they attack with everything here, I can block 5 things, take 1, gain 1, and I eat a lot of their boards. That seems fine for me. Woo, doggy! Was that a good one, chat? How do we feel about the Izoni off the top of the deck? Easy game, easy life. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh yeah. All right, so we just gotta dodge finality. Honestly, maybe I'm supposed to hold the Izoni in case they finality me, but I guess I have Memorial to Folly to pick it back up. Yeah, I should leave green mana. This is an important thing that I want to address because someone just said this in chat. The auto tapper didn't screw me. I screwed me. I saw what the auto tapper was doing and then I was lazy and didn't fix it. Don't be an entitled millennial looking for a cop-out and to blame the computer because you made a mistake. The auto tapper didn't screw you. You screwed you. Pay attention. Stop blaming others and computers for your mistakes. Hey, Carrie News, thanks for the great content. Happy New Year. Thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Thanks for the entire year of support. Welcome back. You screwed you. There's so much of that, and it's not just related to the auto tapper, it's just life in general, but there's a lot of it wasn't my fault, cop out, cop out, cop out. Anti-Trumpet, thank you for the 12 months of support. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I'd like to knight the Defender of the Realm. Thanks for keeping me employed. Yeah, it was weird that the opponent didn't pick their Midnight Reaper back up. Goes the weasel. All right, enjoy the wonderful sponsor screen here for a hot second while I run to the restroom. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Hey, Regulus, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. I'm gonna use the restroom really quick, and when I don't go anywhere, because I'm gonna be going for another like 5 or 6 hours or so. So thanks for hanging out, folks. All right, let's dive back in here, shall we? Thanks for hanging out through the short break. For those of you to plug myself for a moment, if you're familiar with my content, my live schedule is going to be changing a little bit. Oh, the Hurly Burly ad is in front of my resub notification. Good catch, good catch. My schedule is going to be changing a little bit. I'm moving back to doing live streaming 5 days a week. So I will be live with both Arena and a little bit of Magic Online 5 days a week moving forward. I'm doing 1 to 2 Magic Online leagues in the morning, and I'll be starting with Magic Arena with standard best of 3, probably about noon most days or a little before that. Love the stream. Do you offer advice for brews, and do you look at the deck list to see what's missing / not needed? My best advice for brews is start with, do some research. There's probably a good chance that someone else has played a deck very similar to what you're brewing before, and build on the shoulders of those that have come before you. As far as looking at deck lists go, me personally, I always take a peek at deck lists when people DM them to me. I always give priority to people that are in my subs Discord, because obviously they support me, so I look at their stuff first. And of course, this deck list and most of the deck lists that we play here on stream are viewer submitted deck lists. So one of the best way to get the best feedback for me is submit your deck to the stream, so that way I can play it, because the best feedback comes from actually being able to work with your idea. Hey, John Slayer, thanks for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. To encourage, so one of the other things I do too, sometimes people have like a card that they like, but they don't know exactly what could be the best kind of deck to put that card in that they really enjoy. One of the things I do on stream here too, in addition to playing decks as they are submitted, is I also do what I call build around submissions. So for a $25 donation or more, I will take a card or cards or core idea that you'd like to submit, and I'll do the legwork and build the deck for you. That could be hopefully something that people want to take advantage of, especially once the new set comes out. Going to be lots of sweet things to build in the new format, especially with better mana. There's going to be a lot of sweet 3 and possibly even 4 color decks to build. Looks like Jeskai control so far. I feel like a control matchup might be a little bit hard for us. This is one of the matchups where the Adanto Vanguard should come in handy if they are playing control. Man, Field of Ruin inside Jeskai control is real greedy. All right, I think I want to bind the Search for Azcanta here. Just make sure that card stays out of there. And lead to a swath of good stuff decks. I don't know, Jackal Girl. So that really depends on like what other cards we'll see play. It's also important to remember that like playing 4 and 5 color decks isn't strictly free. They come at the cost of like dealing damage to yourself. I'm just gonna go ahead and play Bugler here. I think I want to try and get them to sweep the board before I play the Tristani, so that way I can play the Tristani as a follow-up to a sweeper. You know what? I probably should leave a black untapped here in case this finds a black 2-drop, because I don't have a black source in my hand. So I should probably tap this, leaving Overgrown Tomb up. I think I'm actually going to take the backup Tristani here, though, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, exactly. I can play Tribunal later for less than 4 mana. It's gonna be Clarion. Clarion, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are gone. Do. Oh no! Oh no! I could have shocked this in. Oh no! We're gonna get syncopated. Whew! Just distasteful stroke. Whew! I would have felt real bad if we got syncopated there. Would have felt quite stupid. Is Black-Green still the top deck? It's accepted as one of them. Black-Green, Drakes, and Jeskai Control are all like 3 of the best decks in the format for sure. Let's just jam another, shall we? And if this one gets countered, we can try and jam the Izoni next turn with 4 creatures in the bin. Yep. Pretty okay draw. Are you concerned at all about Teferi after we get a bunch of Azorius cards? I have no idea. Your life will be much happier if you don't exert energy worrying about things you can't control. So I wouldn't spend time and energy worrying about Teferi. If it ends up being a problem, I'm sure they'll address it. And if not, there's tons of really powerful things to be doing in this format. So I wouldn't be surprised if Teferi gets new tools and other decks get more tools, and we just keep a good balance going. Crazy ship! I don't get to be as active as I once was, but it's a pleasure when I get to you in. Thanks for the 16 months. I really appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. It's a shame we're one permanent off of this being active. I don't think I want to attack with this. I think I'm just going to play this as a 4-3 and leave this untapped. I don't want this to get Settle the Wreckage, and I don't want this to get sealed away. So, just gonna hang tight here. Justice Strike, okay. Depending on how good their last card is here, remember, you retain the City's Blessing once you have it. So even though we're back below 10 permanents here, we get to keep the City's Blessing. Wow, interesting. Okay. Do I want to play Izoni out? So I have a land. I don't think I do. I think I'm just gonna play Conclave Tribunal and then like play Ravenous Chupacabra. Well, I could play Izoni and Convoke this out. I could do both. And again, I think it's worth playing around Seal Away here, so I'm just gonna leave this back. Keep Chup for Niv, maybe? I don't know. I've got active Twilight Prophet, and like they have Field of Rune and Detection Tower, so like I know they're about to cast Niv Mizzet, but like what are the odds they have Niv Mizzet here? Like it's low, right? Oh yeah, I should have Tribunal their Binding and then Binding their Surprise Santa. That is correct. Because if I draw another Binding now, I can't cast it. The old reverse Bob is pretty good. I'm sure there's some delay there, J Ray. So like when the same question comes in 3 or 4 times right in a row, there's delay on different people's Twitch. It's usually what it comes down to. Thoughts on replacing Knight of Autumn with the black 3-drop Knight for card advantage. You can't get Knight of Autumn off of the Militia Bugler. So like from the core idea of being able to like abuse Bugler with that deck, that's what you're looking to do. That being said, I agree that Knight of Autumn has felt mediocre, and Twilight Prophet's actually been incredibly sweet, so I probably wouldn't mind more of this card, honestly. Haha, super punished. Yep, can't cast this because of my Conclave Tribunal sequencing. So you can see here again, just to exemplify how excellent the auto tapper is, you can see it highlights the 6 lands in orange, the ones that I'm going to cast here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I'm happy with the lands that it's offering to tap. So even if they hit the sweeper next turn, I'm still going to get to draw at least 1 card off of this. And I'd be in a better spot, obviously, if I'd have Conclave Tribunal correctly. One of the things that'll be pretty sweet in the new format when we get Godless Shrine, I really want to try a Prophet of Twilight History of Benalia deck, because History of Benalia is really good at helping you enable the Ascend, right? Because it gives you 3 permanents out of 1 card, basically. Alright, so Poison Tip Archer's good against sweepers. Immortal Sun's good for card advantage and against planeswalkers. Duress is good at picking apart their hand. Ravenous Chupacabra seems like it's a little bit mediocre. I don't want to cut too many creatures because then my buglers don't hit very often. So what else do I want to trim here? I need to cut 4 cards. It's probably the Conclave Tribunals, right? Maybe I split these 1 and 1 because they have Ixalan's bindings. I don't know. They have 2 colorless lands in their deck. Do I really? I think I'd rather like leave these in as to visit insurance more than anything. Yeah, whew. You get that chain sneeze going, and it's just like the first sneeze leads to another sneeze, leads to another one. It just kind of chains off. So they have both Ixalan's Binding and Surturous Cant to their deck, so Knight of Autumn seems pretty reasonable here. I think Tristani's very good to match up like this. Tristani is a single card that basically demands a sweeper on its own. Hey, Spice Maestro, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Welcome, welcome. It's pretty good. It needs some lands, but like Seekers Squire can hopefully help us find some lands. I'm gonna go ahead and Duress here on 1, and then I can go tap land Duress on 2, so I can like take a Askant out of their hand early. Lyra is a tough nut to crack. I wonder if not having Vivian Reed in this 75 is wrong. Of course, at the same time, green's kind of our splash color, so green might be difficult to hit consistently. Lyra's gonna be a tough nut to crack. Is Lyra a good enough reason to keep Chupacabras? And I don't think so. I think I should leave in more copies of Conclave Tribunal and Ixalan's Binding first, just because they're more flexible. They can take things like enchantments and stuff like that. So maybe I like pull some of the Knights of Autumn and like bring back in some of those enchantments. Lead on this and see where we go. The fact that they have Lyra in play makes them less likely to want to play out a sweeper. Twilight Prophet's a good hit here because the Lyra is going to stall the board, and Twilight Prophet can allow us to get ahead while the board is stalled. Yoink. One of the things I really love about this standard format, I think this is really good design, is that I like that the control decks have to play such a variety of removal spells, because they force them. That's gonna take my Twilight. Wow, I can't believe they are taking that. This seems really surprising to me. Sure. I guess maybe they think they can just race here, but with the Tristani, that's not going to be the case. Tristani gives me a bunch of lifelink dorks. Rude. Just keep drawing, I want to hit spells that deal damage to them. At least we're powering through this pocket of lands, right? Actually, I probably just get this other poison tip archer. And then next turn I just like drop Dubs archers, and then they just can't sweep the board anymore because they die. No, lifelink doesn't stack. So if you give something double lifelink, you don't gain double from it. They draw. That's such a beating too, because like it puts me to exactly 4, so I can't save the Adanto. Hey, Brahmin8, thank you very much for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed. And you can see when I go to mouse over this that it wants to tap all my swamps. So I want to tap this here so it leaves the swamp untapped. That way I can use this to pick my Twilight Prophet back up. And again, I retain the city's blessing, even though I no longer have 10 permanents, so I can replay this here. Come on, Twilight Prophet. What are we paying you for? What are we paying? Oh, I can't. I was like, why can't I Kitesail Freebooter? It all makes sense now. If it did, I really need to add a notification. I finally gave in and bought into Moto, grabbed Jeskai from traders using code Hoagland PayPal to save 8% of my orders there. I thought I'd pay for a quick mind game shill. Thanks for the support. Any plans doing the Pauper event? Nope. Pauper doesn't really have lasting returns in terms of content. Like once the Pauper event goes away, it stops getting clicks and stuff like that. And I have I have like 15, 20, 30 decks in my deck queue at any given point. Although with streaming more moving forward, that'll probably get a little bit smaller. Erhua, thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. And thank you, Niv, for the donation, the tree fitty.
I'm known for my excellence. You need to slow down.
You need to slow down. Can I bump Mono Black Banefire? Definitely, Erhua. As always, $1 or more donated or 1 or more bits cheered can bump something in the queue. Darth Steves, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. No, I don't think so. I think I just want to like put a bunch of pressure into play here and kill them very quickly. Like they don't have Settle the Wreckage mana up, and they don't have they can't seal away these because they have Vigilance. 1 bit is 1 penny, so 100 bits is $1.
Let's make another move. Well, that didn't pan out.
And like they could theoretically be holding a Cleansing Nova, but that's like kind of unlikely. So I think I'm okay just like trying to fade that for a turn. And like if they have Cleansing Nova, I still get to drain them for what, 6 here? Another Lyra is kind of annoying. JK LOL. All right, so are they dead? This is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Not quite dead, but it puts them to a point where sweepers are no longer good. Sweepers no longer work because, what's it called? Sweepers no longer work because of Poison Tip Archer. That felt really good. We kind of gave him the business this game. Got a lot. His deck has a lot of really scrappy creatures in it that play through sweepers well. I really hope we have like an Abzan Aristocrat style deck. I mean, Cleansing Nova doesn't save them. Poison Tip Archer is lethal. This is a fresh take on the itty bitty bugle boy archetype. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Awesome that we're up to over 1,300 people here today. If you're new, my name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I pretty much play nothing but constructed Magic on this channel. We play a ton of standard best of 3 here on Arena. We also play some modern and legacy on Magic online. I'm here 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you enjoy my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. I do this as a job, and the reason why I'm able to do that is because of the support from my wonderful subs. They're quite literally the folks that keep me employed. By subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, Warhammer, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code HOGLAND at bit.ly/HugoBar. You can save 10% on your orders there with them. Hurly Burly Altars does professional Magic the Gathering altars, and you can save 10% on your orders of custom artwork with her at using code Jeff10 at hurlyburlystudio.com. And you might hear my shuffling deck going here. My shuffling deck is protected by none other than my BCW Elite Guard sleeves. Using code JeffHolidayStream at bit.ly/BCW sale between now and the end of the year, you can save 20% on a selection of sleeves, deck box, and all sorts of other great stuff there with them. We're 2-1 with this Abzan Bugler deck, heading on into the next match here and see how it goes. Thanks everyone for hanging out today. Hope you're having a good holiday season. Had a good Christmas yesterday. Pretty easy mulligan here. I'm going to bottom that. Want to try and hit our third land on time here. So with that Scry plus the Seekers Squire, we should be pretty likely to do that. You missed an E in there. Or missed two E's in there, Hippity. They have the combo draw here. Thankfully, they don't have a lot of other action going on after we take the contempt away. So big ol' Wild Growth Walker coming in here shortly. A lot of beef on the other side of the table. Hopefully, these Buglers are gonna find us a Ravenous Chupacabra to deal with the Wild Growth Walker. Would be ideal. Alright, well that's better than missing a land drop, I suppose. Get that one right on out of there. Not blocking, so might as well attack. We're gonna take a hit for 8 this turn. And then next turn, Bugler plus Seekers Squire can double up onto Jadelight Ranger. Seekers Squire really showing us why it's just a lot worse than Merfolk Branch Walker on average. Like, if this was a 3-2 instead of a 2-3, it would be able to trade profitably with this Jadelight. Hey, Shamish, thanks for the compliment. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for dropping in today. Remember, if you do enjoy my stuff and you like pre-recorded stuff as well, you can always check out my YouTube channel also. Pretty much everything I stream gets archived there. All right, well, there's the Chups for the Wild Growth Walker answer, so hopefully we can rip a land next turn. Yeah, I agree, Ryom. I am super excited to play Blue-Green Merfolk with the Wild Growth Walker engine next season. I assume we're going to see them Chupacabra one of these, and then I'll trade the 2-3 with the other one. So I need to hit an untapped non-shock land here. So I'm gonna trade here and go to 1. Yep. A little bit too slow. Yeah, borderless lands are actually, she sent me some of her altars so I could feel how they shuffle and like take a look at the actual art stuff on them. I've got a couple of them here. Her foil, not foil stuff that she does is really slick. Like, adds a small amount of subtle pimp to the card that looks nice. Oh, you don't know. Sorry, sorting lunch out here. I didn't play Knight of Autumn to gain 4 because I couldn't cast Knight of Autumn is what you were missing. Knight of Autumn requires both white and green mana, and I had 2 black sources.
Looks like white dread to me, that would be yours.
Yeah. So glad you're back. I had withdrawal during the holidays. Put these towards Eldrazi posts. We'll do Yaku. I did have YouTube exclusive posts over the holidays too. Oh, I should have put Bust in. Yeah, Bust should be in my deck. Sorry. I'm gonna blame lunch on that one. Sand's okay. Chat demands to know what's for lunch. Potbelly is what's for lunch. Always blame lunch, right? Potbelly, for those asking, is an American sandwich place. No blocks. We're in an okay spot here. We'll get the Chup. Oh, they're not playing. Interesting. Maybe I'll just Chupacabra this. Depends on how big it is. Vivian's a little annoying. I think I'm probably going to Chupacabra the Jade Light here, if only so that way it's easier to pressure the Vivian in the future, just like keep their board pretty clear. What an American thing to say. I was not impressed with the size of the sandwich. You know how many calories are in the average Subway sandwich that's a foot long? An obscene number. Calories are for blockers. Yeah, there's a lot.
The wild wasn't meant to be contained. Sometimes restoration means retribution.
No, I'm saying the Potbelly sandwich is smaller than a foot because a foot-long sandwich is an obnoxious amount of calories that normal human beings don't need to eat. I think I just like smacked their face here, right? Just like force them to chump block. Like forces them to chump block and like puts them to 3. Like ignore the Vivian. We're gonna get finality and feel real bad, but I think this is the right line.
You can't stop nature.
All right, they're still dead on board. So Poison Tip Archer actually kills them here, right? Because they have to kill one of my creatures, and that means they take at least 3. At least something is dying. They're taking at least 2 in combat, and something is dying, so they lose. Triggers. Goes the weasel. There should definitely be Citywide Bust in my deck. Let's fix that real quick here. Get your Kitesail Freebooter last time. I'm gonna do that. Freebooter's a little mediocre. I guess they have... let's split it. I think Adanto's fine. I think that game was a good example of why Adanto's fine. We're like being aggressive and get to beat them down. Yeah, it seems like not amazing, but I think it's keepable.
Meet my newest friend.
All right, well, let's wrap this right on up there. What's my most valuable Paper Magic the Gathering card? I don't really own many Paper Magic cards. My most valuable is probably, I have a Masterpiece Painter Servant that's framed because their artwork's great. I have the print along with it. All right, Abzan Bugler. I feel like the black-white core of what this deck is doing felt really kind of sweet, especially with the green splash. And when we get Orzhov cards next set, that's definitely something that could be worth doing. I'm not sure if Bugler is worth giving up some of the best white cards in the format, though. So, like, losing... You basically can't play cards like History of Benalia alongside Bugler because then you don't have enough density of creatures to, like, get through. And I think in the next set, a History of Benalia Twilight Prophet deck, when we get Godless Shrine, could potentially be something really sweet. I think having a way to enable the City's Blessing very consistently for this card sounds like something I'm interested in doing. If you can get to the City's Blessing for this consistently, this card is a very powerful effect that's going to let you run away with and steal games, especially if you pair it with other must-answer threats. So I kind of like the white-black core, but I'm not sure that Bugler is really... The payoff that you get for playing Bugler is worth the deck building restriction that it imposes on you to make it hit consistently, if that makes sense. I think if you're dead set on playing Militia Bugler, this deck seemed very reasonable. The card quality is okay, even if your sideboarding is a little bit skewed and stuff. All right, so what are we doing next? We change decks every hour or so on streams. We've got Boros tokens up next. Remember, if you missed any of the Abzan Bugler, we're playing it for about an hour and a half there. It'll be uploaded to my YouTube channel for later. And if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, be sure to leave a comment, like the video, all that jazz, all those things that the YouTube algorithm likes.